Hi there, this is the Bluebell blog. My name's Nick R.B. Tingley. Let's just get straight into it. I've kind of started up this blog. It might only be this one time. It might last a lot longer. The reason why I've kind of started it up is because I'm an author. I write books. I'm writing a book called The Bluebell Informant, hence the Bluebell blog for the time being. And I was kind of looking on YouTube when I was younger, when I was trying to be inspired as an author. I was looking on YouTube to see other people, to see what their struggles were, things that they were having difficulties, what they just generally did in their day-to-day life. And I just couldn't find it anywhere, and like it just doesn't exist. There are not that many author blogs out there, so I'm creating one so that you can sit there and you can follow what I'm doing, see what I get out to in my day-to-day life outside of writing. We have this kind of opinion of authors that all they do is they sit there and they write, and bizarrely that's true to a certain extent, but we do have lives outside of it, so I'm going to be showing you parts of my life using this blog. The other reason is recently I did some author interviews, which I called the Bluebell interviews, which is me talking about the Bluebell Informant. And back in the day, I started out by doing kind of screenwriting and a bit of short film directing. I kind of missed that side of it, and I do have a blog that I write in, a written blog, but I'm increasingly finding I just don't have enough time for it between having to do work and pay the bills, and doing my other writing, and then things that I want to do outside of work because life's not all about work. I just find that I don't have enough time to do it. So hopefully this vlogging will kind of take a bit of pressure off there, and it'll kind of mix things up a bit, one can hope. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, actually 2 days ago, it was my birthday. And there were two kind of major presents that kind of that I got given. That kind of made a big impact. The first one was a Lego Minecraft set, which just blew my mind. If you've ever played Minecraft, it is basically Lego on a video game. So you kind of sit there going, well, why do you need a Lego Minecraft? It's just two things are the same thing. Because you've got two people in Lego camps. You've got the Lego purists, who are the ones who have to build everything specific. I've got my X-Wing, TIE Fighter, whatever. I will build it exactly as the instructions say. And then you've got the Lego creatives, who are the people who just go, oh, I've got loads of stuff, let's just go mad. And I fall very much into that second category. But my fiancée Gemma falls very much into the first one. So her reasoning for getting me the Minecraft Lego set was I could go mad, I could build whatever I want, and it wouldn't drive her up the wall. And unfortunately for her, the very first thing I did, she came back home one day, and I was sat there doing it, and of course the first thing I did was I built exactly what the rules told me to build, which just blew her mind as well. She was sat there going, but you're the creative one. So yeah, Minecraft Lego, it just goes to show really that you can't pigeonhole people. The other one I got was elastic bands. It's really not much of a birthday present. It's an elastic band. It didn't cost it. I think she said it came with a load of letters or something. And the reason why that actually is a big deal for me is not because I'm really easily pleased, so don't say that one, but because I suffer from OCD, and my OCD is very much geared around protection. It's geared like I will spend hours and hours before I go to bed trying to make sure that the front door is locked, and even though my head is sitting there saying that front door is locked, you've got it bolted, it's deadlocked, you've got a barricade in front of it. In the 5 metres it takes for me to walk round the corner, my mind will go, let's go and check it again, so I'll go back and I'll check it. And the point of this elastic band, she got the idea from a TV series called Whitechapel, which, apart from going really weird towards the end, was an awesome TV series. One of the characters in that has OCD, and he's advised by someone that whenever he has a problem, if he gets stuck in a loop, you just snap the band, and it will bring you out of that loop. And but yeah, so I mean, this is a classic example. I'm sitting here talking to you, and I just snapped that elastic band, and I've completely lost my train of thought. Gone. So that was an awesome present, because I've only been using it for the last 2 days, and even then it's made a massive difference. I'm still taking 3 to 4 minutes trying to lock the front door, but I'm actually able to lock the front door, and I'm able to walk away first time with a little bit of help and a little bit of pain. So it's an awesome birthday present. Birthday presents don't have to cost huge amounts of money. They can mean the world to someone and be worth practically nothing to everyone else. Moving on, the Bluebell Informant, for those of you who haven't seen any of the interviews, ostensibly the Bluebell Informant is about a politician who has fallen from grace. And in the news recently, we've had all this stuff about the Panama Papers, which if you've been following, particularly those of you watching from Britain, there's a lot of tax dodging going on. There's a lot of abuse kind of being centred at the Prime Minister, in particular David Cameron. And what I find interesting is actually David Cameron hasn't done anything wrong. at any point. He's found a legal loophole and he's exploited it. Any of us would have done that. Okay, there are some really truly moral people out there who wouldn't have done that, but the vast majority of us, if we found that loophole, if we had that ability to exploit something that way, we probably would. And people were calling him immoral, and at the end of the day, he hasn't done anything outside of the law. He's done precisely what he's allowed to do. That's a problem with the law. That's not a problem with David Cameron. But there were a lot of people. There was a massive kind of grouping of people who turned up at Downing Street last week, saying, calling for David Cameron to resign. I'm actually kind of veering towards their side on this one. My issue with it was, a year ago, he was slamming the hell out of a couple of celebrities who got caught doing something very, very similar. And he was sitting there saying, it's the most immoral thing on the planet, and oh my god, these people are wrong. And he was really drumming up kind of pro-Cameron support, like bandwagoning. And now it turns out he's done exactly the same thing. So my whole issue with the whole thing is not the fact that David Cameron has exploited this loophole, but it's the fact that he has actively gone out there and attacked someone for doing precisely the same thing that he's doing. If that's not got hypocrite stamped across his face, I don't know what it is. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't want I know my politicians are going to lie to me. I know they're going to try and con me out of things, and I accept that. I understand that, but when it is done so blatantly in front of you, he cannot in any consciousness turn around to any grouping of people in the world or businesses and turn around and say, I am squeaky clean. He can't do that. If it was kept behind closed doors, no one can prove anything. Brilliant. But now everybody knows. And for that reason, I think he needs to resign. But that's just my opinion. Getting back onto the more kind of entertainment side of things. Jem's my fiance, and we watch a lot of box sets. A lot of them are kind of crime dramas, not all of them, but a lot of them are, because I work in an education establishment and I've been on holiday for the last 2 weeks, whereas Jem's has been out working. So for the first time in a while, I watched a box set on catch up that Jem's hasn't watched yet, and it's called Houdini and Doyle, and it was done by ITV. It's a supernatural crime solving thing, kind of in the vein of X-Files. Think of the X-Files and put it back into Victorian London, and the two main characters are Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who created Sherlock Holmes and was a well-known spiritualist, and Harry Houdini, the famous illusionist who famously refuted all of these kind of spiritualist claims. They've kind of got their Mulder and Scully between the two of them. They go out and they solve their crimes and they try and work out whether it's supernatural or not, and then there's always that kind of existential debate between the two of them about what's real and what's not. I read a review of it recently. I've got a feeling it was The Guardian, can't be entirely sure, but where they slammed the hell out of it. They were saying it was an X-Files wannabe. It was absolutely awful. The script wasn't of the time. It wasn't a period. They weren't speaking in period speak or whatever. And I was kind of sitting there going, I don't think that was the point of it. I think it was meant to be a bit of fun. It was very entertaining to watch. I don't think they'll make a second series. I've got a feeling it didn't drum up as much viewer ratings as it could have done, which is a shame as far as I was concerned, because I thought it was a really good series and I found myself thoroughly entertained by it. But I might be in a minority on that one. Getting down to what I've been reading lately, because obviously I do a lot of reading. It kind of keeps me going, and if you're an aspiring author watching this, one thing I would recommend is always read, because it's amazing how if you don't read a book for a month or something, how you completely lose touch of what is right in your own writing. And at the moment I'm reading A Question of Identity by Susan Hill, which is a new Simon Seralia this guy. It's a this guy novel. I haven't read any of the previous Simon this guy novels, but one thing I'm finding a little bit difficult with this book is I'm not that far in. So I'm about a sixth of the way through, and so far I haven't actually read anything which isn't actually covered on the back blurb. So, which is a little bit disappointing. I like to kind of discover some kind of new things quite quickly, so I'm hoping it will pick up quite soon. I will let you know. But the book I really wanted to talk to you about is The Crossing Places by Elly Griffiths. I wrote a review of this book on my blog a few weeks ago, but I don't think that review really did it justice. Largely because the crime in this novel is two girls who've gone missing, like 10 years apart, in this kind of big mall, kind of the Broad Malls, kind of Norfolk, Saltmarsh area. And this archaeologist is called in to help the police identify some bones because they think it might be one of the children. It turns out it's not. It's an Iron Age settlement. And this archaeologist, Ruth Galloway, just gets embroiled in the whole mystery. But my main problem with it was that the moment the person responsible appeared on the page, I knew straight away, that's him. That's the person responsible for everything. And I spent the entire novel hoping I was wrong, and was really disappointed when I got to the end and found out that I was spot on. I read other reviews and other people were picking it up straight away as well, so I don't know what the problem was, what Elly Griffiths did when introducing this character, but it kind of stood out a mile away, which kind of ruined the crime aspect. But in terms of an actual novel, it's really, really good. The landscape is beautifully described. The main character, Ruth Galloway, is really relatable. Really good book, highly recommend it. I'm definitely going to read the rest of the series. There's lots more books written by her, so I'm going to be reading that. So that's about all I've got for you today. If you like what you heard so far, please comment down below. Please subscribe to my channel. There will be more videos coming up. If you want to hear more from me, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, follow me on my written blog. All the links are down below. And hopefully I will see you again soon. Okay, all the best.